All right, y'all, driverless vehicles. You've seen all of these different images, video and television, and about automated motor vehicles. Could be on the road in significant numbers in the next 3 to 5 years. I ain't getting in one, okay? That's okay, I'm good, I got this. Now, there are big benefits, but also some drawbacks. According to a new report by the Center for Global Policy Solutions, driverless vehicles could put as many as 4 million people who drive for a living out of work, disproportionately impacting Black and other minority workers in the driving industry. Here's one trucker's take on driverless vehicles.
There may be a computer that can drive a truck from A to B on a straight line. But there will never be a computer that will be able to navigate a truck in the heart of Manhattan.
Joining us is Dr. Rockeymoore, President and CEO of the Center for Global Policy Solutions. Here's the thing that people, I don't think, understand. When we look at the job losses in America, automation is driving that. And that's been hurting middle-class workers or jobs where individuals historically have not had college degrees, but have been able to make a very good living, take care of their family. And that's why we're seeing these losses. You can now go to automation in this area. Look, you're putting, people, again, who can provide for families out of work, and then where are they going to go?
I think that's right. I think for too long we've been talking about job loss in terms of globalization, and people have not been paying attention to how technology has been creeping in and actually taking jobs. I think the way that we can viscerally understand it is when we go into a grocery store and see these self-checkout lines and recognize that, there are no longer as many cashiers as they used to be.
Right.
But
or bank.
But it's at banking, you're seeing it across these industries. And then people say, oh, well, it's not going to affect me because, it's for people that don't, jobs are going to be taken for those who don't have college degrees, et cetera. Well, it's also white-collar jobs that are actually being taken as well. So our report actually shows that more than 4 million jobs will be lost actually due to, or are likely to be lost due to driverless cars. The estimates are that if you look across industries, that approximately 43% of American jobs could be at risk within the next 20 years. And so this is something that African Americans, Latinos, white Americans need to pay attention to because it could be on us within the next 5 years.
And look, I'm real clear. I am not getting in a driverless car. I'm not trusting the algorithm when something happens. And hell, sometimes my iPhone blink out. So I don't know about y'all, but that's just me. Spencer, you go ahead.
This is a critical report. Policymakers need to go to the website and look at this report because we got to focus on the future, right? Future is changing. And as Dr. Rockeymoore said, it's not just the driver, it's doctors, it's accountants, it is law professors, right? All these jobs are at risk in part because of automation, but it's also stuff like analytics and big data and artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is something we got to get on. There's a threat here, Roland, but there are also opportunities. So as opposed to just saying, hey, we're 13% of the population, let's get 13% of the plumbers' jobs, we got to think about what are the jobs in the next economy and how do we seize those jobs and really get on top of those jobs.
There is a new economy. That's really great. That's a great point. And people need to learn how to stay competitive. The problem is with a lot of our people of color, we just don't have that opportunity to get educated, right? In my adolescence, I remember the United Negro College Fund, that commercial. Yes. Mind is a terrible thing to waste. And now artificial intelligence is here.
Right, but let me push back a little bit on this in terms of because things are new, we can get in. It's not like people have had a 50-year head start on us with regard to some of these things that are changing. Obviously, we're disadvantaged in some sense, but we can get in because things are changing. Innovation, opens up some opportunities for us.
But here's the question, Maya, in looking at this year. Before you mentioned 4 million. Where, in terms of what regions, will this be mostly impacted?
So we have to understand that the most drivers are out of states like Texas, California, New York, and Florida. However, states like Indiana, Idaho, Mississippi, North Dakota, South Dakota, that these Midwestern and Southern states are going to be disproportionately hit. Here's the picture. Out of all the driving jobs in the country, a predominant number of those drivers are actually white men. African Americans and Latinos, though, are going to be disproportionately affected because we're overrepresented compared to our overall representation in the workforce. We're overrepresented in these driving jobs. And we get a driving premium from these jobs, meaning that we tend to make more from driving jobs than from non-driving jobs. And so, you know, the challenge is twofold. One, blacks and Latinos are going to be disproportionately affected because we have a heavy reliance on these jobs. But two, the very states that drove in this Donald Trump crowd and these Republicans are going to be hardest hit. They're already hopping mad because of job displacement from what they think is as a result of, you know, globalization and trade.
Well, first of all, we saw when he made a big deal out of the jobs when he first came in, was a company in Indiana. Yeah. Guess what? That company made it clear in a year or two they're going to replace those jobs with automation. That's right.
There's going to be a lot of pain in these middle states and in southern states, all represented by Republicans. And so, you know, the fact of the matter is, and then get this, the Republicans are busy trying to tear down the social insurance and safety net structure in this country, even as workers are going to increasingly need it because of automation.
Well, Dr. Rockeymoore, what's the transition? I mean, what kind of jobs should people be looking to, and what is the role of government? Again, the Republicans, clearly, the corporate state, corporations are international, they don't care, and this goes back even with healthcare. Either you believe it's a right or you don't. They clearly don't.
About 30 seconds.
What do you talk?
I actually happen to believe in entrepreneurship. I think that we need to be training our kids to be really thinking outside of the box, to learn the fundamentals and the ABCs of financial literacy and entrepreneurship so that they can actually be job creators for themselves.
Create
and for
jobs
others.
doing what, though?
Yeah,
selling services,
but you got to be thinking
entertainment?
creatively about what are the opportunities in the future.
Yes.
And so in terms of that, you know, you can prepare for jobs, but you're not going to be guaranteed that they're going to be there.
Right.
Let's train our children broadly so that they have the creative and critical thinking skills to be able to think outside of the box, create their own jobs, and then drive those
Not
jobs.
just STEM, humanities, broad education.
Broad education, not just STEM.
That's cool.
So where can folks actually see the report?
Come to our website, globalpolicysolutions.org.
A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. His hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not going to let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this.
If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally. What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.